I'm working on it. It's not. Okay, it's live finally.
Okay,
Start video
and record.
and.
All right.
We're gonna
Go.
You ready?
Yep.
Call the work session to order at 6:01 for Monday, March 8th, 2021. We'll do a roll call and then followed by inserting it in the agenda, the Sheriff Deputy Dan's report.
Counselor Richter. Actually, I just texted her the meeting stuff, so hopefully she'll be joining us. Counselor McMillan,
Here.
Counselor Denton, Counselor Hawkins,
Here.
Counselor Farmer, Counselor Cox,
Here.
Mayor Flynn.
Here,
We do have a quorum present right now. Oh, and Riley later, or student.
see, I read.
All right, you do have a quorum present.
So Deputy Dan, you want to start us off?
We will.
So this month, I would say like the newest thing came up is that we had some snow. The snow brought some new issues that weren't real big issues. It was a lot of education, and but it was snowmobiles on roadways, which I'm sure everybody's seen, and then also the sledding. Not so much sledding, but being pulled behind a vehicle of some sort, whether it be a side-by-side or a four-wheeler on the sled. I talked to lots of people. I think that there was about the one day that I was out, I remember talking to at least 9 different people. But everybody seemed very receptive to at least hear me out. So there were no citations given on that. It was just warnings and why it's unsafe, and that as far as snowmobiles, that snowmobiles don't fall under the ATV, the ordinance. So I felt like I was out making people have ruining their fun sledding day, but it's gonna fall under snowmobiles. There's a statute for no snowmobiles on the roadway, but as for sledding, it falls under more like reckless or careless, because the dangers of operating something like that on a street where it's meant for cars. But just like I said, it was educational, and I didn't get anybody too upset. So we're going to have that come every year. I just think that, like I said, it's been a while that we've had law enforcement presence, and people just either don't think about it or whatever. But it's just it's a good time to educate our public. I'm getting quite a few more calls to my personal phone as more of my business card, or not personal, work cell as like my business cards kind of circulate through the county, which is fine. I'm just going to caution people as well that if I don't work every day, every hour of every day. If there is an emergency, to go through dispatch and dispatch somebody. Even if I'm on, it's just dispatch somebody to call 911, and then it gives me some of the information of what I'm responding to. But I don't mind people calling me. I actually enjoy it. Just know that if you call me on the end of my days off, it could be a couple days before I check the messages again. And if it's so urgent, please do the whole 911, or if it's an emergency, or just dispatch. We're looking at a few months on. Like I said, I've been doing a lot of educational things. I would imagine that here coming in the upcoming months, we're going to start seeing more traffic citations, just for the fact that I keep a pretty good list of who I've warned for what, and it's going to come to a point where you probably see a little bit of an uptick in citations. I will definitely try to lean on the side of education more than finding people, but that it's going to happen. So, yeah. Other than that, snow bringing its own set of challenges and things like that. We've dealt with quite a few different trespass situations. We have that individual that we had 2 months ago, several months going around town. People are educating people on, you know, what their right is as a homeowner, and I feel quite a few phone calls on what people can do and what they should do. And really, before anything escalates, before you try to take matters into your own hand, please allow me to try to do my job, try to de-escalate. But 100%, you have a right to protect yourself inside your home and your property. You can't use deadly force. Some people seem to think that their property is more important than, like, they got guns, but that's not the way that we handle situations like that. So please get a hold of me, get a hold of the sheriff's office. I know if it's not me, a lot of times you're having somebody respond from the ground, so it's going to be a little bit of time coming out here, but just be patient. And I did have my first that office out there. Had a couple meetings out there with some juvenile parents through the school. Seems to be a pretty good meeting place. It's warm and dry. It works just fine. And then, a few less FI, so field irrigations or interviews, just because there's less people kind of walking around. But I am also getting a pretty good influx of people who just like to stop and pop. I did have a headlight out.
On your radio?
On my vehicle. It was, I got somebody was so gracious to be so polite to let me know my headlight was out. But that's what I want. I mean, I'm accountable too. I mean, it wasn't an easy fix. I checked all the fuses and did the bulb, and it was a wiring harness issue, but it's been fixed. But I like when people hold me accountable as well. So, but it's fixed. It's all good. Just got a laugh. A couple high school kids that pulled over. They pulled behind me and told me I had a headlight out. It's pretty good. I want people to be able to approach me like that. So
That's really good.
other than that, it's business as usual. It's any questions from anybody moving forward?
No,
Everybody can kind of see the minutes, and like I said, if you have questions on specific things, I can give you kind of the.
I had a comment made to me about the same thing I complain about in terms of the Main Street, and they asked me about it. I said, I complain the same thing, so get a hold of you and complain.
And I've sat and talked with Dick a few times around where he lives, and it's 100% true. When I'm sitting there, people see you, you're visible. They don't. I mean, if I'm parked there, they're going to be less. So just catching them and giving them the opportunity to think about what they do and maybe make a better decision next time. So I don't have the dog report or the animal report this month with me, but that's something that going forward I'll have with me, and I can answer any questions about that too. So if there aren't any questions, I guess that's it for February.
any question?
Thank you.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
No problem.
Next in line is a ordinance review of ordinance 508, since that's March, and we need to be reviewing it. I know we've done the water study and things are in the works, but we still have to go by what we currently have. And so you want to lead this discussion? Or do you want
Sorry,
me
I'm
to?
trying to get other people online.
Oh, okay.
So they're waiting.
Basically, you read through this, and if we don't do anything, the water rate increases 2.5%, the sewer rate increases 2.5%. The city council can just do nothing, and it increases to 2.5% automatically.
Both.
both.
No.
Or you could lower one. And those are really kind of the choices. And so since we can't make a decision, I'm not going to say anything more about it
Mhm.
until we get into the regular meeting. Then I'm going to give my recommendation for it. But of course, it's up to the council and what you guys do. I know we're reviewing it and we've got some, but we're gonna, I really see in the future, we're gonna be rewriting this ordinance. Encompassing some of the water and sewer study. But for the time being, we still have to continue operations, so that's why we're bringing it up.
And I should read through this, we need to make a decision by April 1st, or it just automatically happens. That's our good one.
That's why the timing of it, talking in this March meeting. Anybody have any comments or questions on this ordinance?
If you do nothing, it's gonna go up 2.5%. And on both, just so you know, at the bare minimum, that's what the increase is. So 2.5 on sewer, 2.5 on water. And that's if you do nothing, because it will go off automatically by ordinance. So. The other is if you don't want it to go up on both, then we're gonna have to say so at this next business meeting, or if you want to do something other than that. If you say nothing, then it just goes. So,
Do you have a recommendation?
I can give that at the meeting.
Oh,
We'll
okay.
give that in the meeting.
Okay.
Just information.
Okay.
Goal setting discussion. I have my list that I put together. Some people will be happy, some people won't. We can discuss it in the regular meeting. The goals are pretty much everything that we talked about. I am gonna recommend that in our regular meeting that we put a couple of them together instead of having so many working groups together.
And combine some of these,
A couple of them.
yeah. They did look different though than when we met on Saturday.
Well, they're.
Are they the
No,
same?
they're-
Okay. No one's added or? Hmm? Yeah, it looked a little different from the in the packet. I don't know why.
I didn't study things as much as I normally do because I bailed out of town for the coast for a week, to be honest with you. So usually I have 2 or 3 days to dig through and argue with myself. This time I pretty much argued with myself one afternoon. So. Union County, water and soil. We did receive a response back. And you all have a copy of that. I read it. And then when I checked in with Doug just before noon, Mr. Webster had called and wanted to talk with me. And I didn't want to muddy the water, so decided I was going to give him a call tomorrow and see what was on his mind and talk to him about this letter. Is there anything in your reviewing it in my phone call with Mr. Webster that you would like me to comment on or ask?
It appears to me that they're just not quite to the 15% yet. And once they get to that 15%, then they'll look to get more input, right?
Right. Anybody else?
Because I'm trying to follow this and keep up on everything. I done some checking today and because I've been hearing rumors of their going out for an elevation study and a FEMA study and so on. I do not know if they have or haven't, because FEMA hasn't gotten back to me on it. But I did check that they have not went to the Union County Planning Commission yet for any changes there. So I read this letter and I had heard in the past that they were at the 15 mark, but then now they're saying they're not. And I went back through my records, and since I don't get all these letters, I don't have a record.
Every letter that I've received is stated they are not at the 15%, and they just move it out to when they think they're gonna be at the 15%.
Well, I'm not trying to correct you, but I heard a long time ago that I believe it came from Aaron, if I remember correctly. And they said they were at the 15 because I had called or asked, but I don't know.
All I'm saying is the written
Yeah,
communication.
that's what I'm saying. I've never read it, just something that was said, so I have no proof to present it to you or to any other.
I kind of stay away from that, to be honest with you, because I was quoted about something that I'd said at the post office by somebody, and I haven't been to the post office for 6 months. So I kind of, the word
Well,
about hearsay.
I checked on something else today because I read it in the paper. It has nothing to do with this. But I read it in the paper about something that one of the representatives on the other side of the state was going to try to get through. And
Let's stay on the subject.
yeah, I know. What I'm trying to say is that I go to the head of the horse instead of listening to the garbage behind the horse. If you get my meaning, you know, so I went to this person to get exactly what they were trying to do. And I agree and disagree. But anyway, it's the same thing here. I tried to go and get my facts from the head of the horse before I do anything.
Fire EMS update. Any word, same place we had it?
I have to admit, I didn't go on my computer today. I did check and send a letter asking for communication on Friday, but I did not open my computer today. I can probably check if we have time between meetings, maybe on that state.
I think we're gonna have time because we pretty
Was
much
there
shot.
an email in today?
Yeah, well, no, from just a day or two ago,
Yeah, I sent one and asked for information.
and he sent them back.
Yeah.
Hold on, I
If you
did
could
it
pull
on
it
my
up.
computer for some reason, she disconnected.
I tried it.
so.
Linked, dug in when I sent the letter.
So, from the fire board, he says, we discussed the best way to move forward on combining the rural and city EMS service at our last meeting. The rural board thought that the good next step would be to have a joint meeting between the rural and council. The rural board suggests that before this meeting, I get more information on the merging process from George Dunkel, who works for Special Districts Association of Oregon. He has experience consulting other departments across the state who have combined services into one department and has been through several mergers. The fire board suggests that I share this information with them, which he's done, and with you before we have this meeting. The idea is that both the city council and fire board would have the opportunity to review the information from George before the joint meeting. The purpose then to the joint meeting would be to get everyone on the same page as far as what problems we are hoping to solve with the merger, to outline the general goals of the working committee. Please find in the attached email a sample document titled Regional Opportunities Outline. It was written for another one of his clients, but it's comprehensive and lists all of the pros and some cons of merging the two departments. This document suggests the process begin with a meeting to outline motivations for the merger. His opinion is that the success of the project depends on the value proposition in combining the departments, and also whether there is the political will on both the fire board and the city council to make the project successful. The document entitled Oregon Fire Authority was created, Oregon Fire Authority Formation was created for clients in Central Oregon to give some good ideas on the process for moving forward. For more information on what exactly the committee might provide to the union council and the board, please see the attached documents. Regional services approach outline, as this is written for different clients, but many of the same tasks apply. This document suggests the working committee will need to outline what the new department will look like as far as services, conduct a financial analysis, and decide whether the recommended approach is a merger. If the fire department annexes the city and is renamed, restructured appropriately, or a new district entirely, a merger is the easiest approach, but depends on being able to apply the same tax rate to city residents. If the budget to the joint department requires something different than the existing tax rate, then a new district shall be required, which is a more complex process. For more information on the process of merging a new district, see the attached formation document. This is the most involved of all the attachments and is centered around laws regarding special districts. Finally, he sent out a sample document of a first meeting agenda for the committee titled Steering Committee Initial Agenda. Those rates for another client that gives us some ideas of where we might go to get started out the gate. Hope this is helpful. Look forward to your feedback. And then on this attachment, there were like 5 or 6 documents, as he said. So I think once we get our committee formed in the next meeting, we'll be able to move forward and then reviewing this information and then starting to move forward with combining or having those joint meetings and going through that.
Any questions?
The attachments,
Well,
we don't have, correct?
no, Susan,
I can get a form over for you. I just haven't done that yet.
will get the committees formed, get the
The regular meeting.
this
Yeah.
council. Okay, and then committees can look at the documents, start the conversation. So with that, I'm gonna adjourn this at 6:25, and we'll get back together at 7 for the regular meeting. I'd like to move it up, but we can't because it's been advertised for 7. Okay? Recess.
Is there any anytime when we run short that we could add stuff on here? I don't know what, but just to discuss, or are we stuck to this?
Well, we're kind of stuck unless it's an emergency type thing.